If you're worried about sensitive information, especially PII, personally identifiable information, we have a feature with query settings where you can scrub out PII before sending it to a model. I have in this example here a note that I added to this knowledge stack. And within this knowledge stack, we see information about these completely fictional people, where we see their name, birthday, address, phone number, and some fake medical information about them. If I was to use this knowledge stack with a local model, probably not really worried about the PII in it. But if I wanted to use this with a online model, I'm way more worried about the PII because I do not want that information to go to an online model, and I do not want that online model to have it in their database, and I do not want them to train off of this information. So given this, if I go back to query settings and I enable PII for scrubbing, what it will ask you to do is enable a model to scrub out this information. So let's go ahead and assign a model. And what I want to do is select a local model to scrub out the PII. Again, I don't really want to use an online model, but more so something that is just running on my device, running locally. That way I know the PII is not leaving my device. I'm going to select Cogito to scrub the information. And now I'm going to click on Assign Model. And at this point, the information hasn't been scrubbed yet. So let's go ahead and scrub it. I'm going to go to the Chunk Console, Query Settings, and again, enable PII scrubbing. And this will be a good spot to scrub the information. So if I don't do it here, it'll do it at the point of the conversation. But before really using this in a conversation, it's good practice to make sure that everything was scrubbed to your satisfaction before using this in a conversation with a real model. So now that I have this enabled, I'm just going to ask a question such as, tell me about them. And we'll leave all the other configurations as is. Let's click on Run Query. And what's going to happen is the local model is going to go through the information, go through that data, and then scrub out anything that it sees as PII. All right, and now that we see the results, what we see is that the patient name was scrubbed. It just has a placeholder now that says person name, date of birth, street address, city, state, zip code, phone number, person name, date. So we see all those personal identifiable information being scrubbed out and being replaced with a placeholder, which is exactly what we want to see. Let's go and verify this just a little bit more. Let's get out of the console and then go into the visualizer. And then here we'll be able to see that full note and should be seeing everything that is PII scrubbed away. So let's verify again. This patient's information was scrubbed, as well as the second patient. And I'm not seeing anything else that would be considered PII. Okay, now I'm pretty confident that we could use this chunk here in a conversation with an online model. So let's close this out. Let's start a conversation with Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is an online model. And we'll select the knowledge base, the PII example. And let's verify under configure that we have enable PII scrubbing enabled. Okay, now let's go ahead and ask it a question such as assess the patient information. Okay, now that we see that in this response, there's no PII that we could see in here, and the model is providing a response about the first patient that it sees as well as the second patient. And if we select on this knowledge stack's context and open it up, again, we can see that PII scrubbing was enabled. And then if we view the full content, once again, we could see that the PII information was just replaced with these simple placeholders. And this is a great way to leverage the power that online models typically have while using a local model to scrub away the PII so that you can benefit from that extra power, that extra knowledge that an online model may have over a local model counterpart.